Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Heroes. And what is that in the back there? What? Gobble Revolver, Shot Riser, Don Brasta, Giantalinga, Arco, Deka Driva, Ziku Driva. Yeah, welcome to the Wall of Henshin. The only thing you don't see is behind me underneath my Kuga picture is my gamer driver. This is all done with the magic of absolute real black magic. I'm revealing the existence of magic right now. That was stupid. Anyway, no. So I have these really awesome Velcro strips that I used with my Ryusoul Red costume to attach things to the belt piece that I needed for that. And it's sticky on one side and Velcro on the other. And so I stuck pieces of that on my wall, the other pieces on the toys, and they look good. They're floating. They're there. The Wall of Henshin is complete. So, yeah. Yeah, I wanted to record here in ye old headquarters, the Wall of Henshin. We're going to record in front of the Wall of Henshin now. I've been doing a lot of those on-the-go reviews because I have a good amount of time between here and where I have to go to work and drop my kids off. And so I do the on-the-go reviews in the car sometimes, but I want to get more into doing these reviews here. So today we are talking about Avataro Sentai DonBrothers, episode 39. If you didn't know, I'm a big dumb idiot who definitely meant to record my reviews for 38 and for episode 12 of Geats, and then forgot until like yesterday. So those should be coming up around the same time as these ones. So yay. But anyway, so overall, really good episode here. This show, it truly surprises me how absolutely balls to the wall chaotic it can be, and how it continues to one-up itself in how chaotic it can be. God damn it. So the plot of this one is so we got the team at the DonBro Cafe and they're doing their thing, and they find a safe there, and the safe on it has a combination. Haruka enters her birth date, Sour Brother enters his, and Tsuyoshi enters his, and that ends up unlocking the safe somehow. Inside is a button, and they don't want to touch it. It says do not press. Well, of course, Jiro's there. He's like, I can help, and he takes it and boop, and presses it anyway, unwittingly unleashing Don Killer, which is an android version of Taro. We find out later from Jin, we get some like backstory, that it was a failsafe in case the DonBrothers ever went out of control and needed to be put down, basically, Taro included. I am not understanding why we are waiting until episode 39 of a near 50 episode show to tell us this, but you know what? I'm not gonna. So anyway, that gets activated. It's literally invincible, super strong, and like will attack anything in its way that's even slightly connected to the DonBrothers in any way. While this is all going on, the team's trying to handle fighting that, which they get their ass kicked pretty handedly. They're all there except for Taro. Taro's working his job, and that's when Don Killer comes down and on the ground and shoots a laser at him, and he instantly has to like instamorph and hold his sword up to like block the laser blast. Gets his ass kicked, honestly, by Don Killer, which is kind of interesting seeing Taro lose, seeing Taro get beaten. I know he did to Sonoi technically, but I mean really seeing him lose and not have an advantage is very interesting. But this is also juxtaposed with Jiro, who decides that he's going to go home to visit the man. I think his name is, let's see my notes here, Terasaki-san, who was the guy who found his like pod or whatever that he was released from when he was a baby and raised him since he was a baby. It's not really his dad, but like his adoptive dad, if you will. Gonna go home, surprise him, and just spend time with him. Okay, cool. And so pretty much the entire team gets their ass beat silly by Don Killer. We start with Inu Brother getting his ass beat by Don Killer, picked up and slammed on the ground. He gets put in the hospital. I'm trying to think what. Oh yeah, Master Kaito approaches Jin for help with Don Killer and finds out there is a Don Killer. Essentially a failsafe for the failsafe in case Don Killer goes out of control to stop Don Killer. And of course, Don Killer is an android exact replica clone of Taro. Don Killer is Sawahara, because of course it is. The fuck wouldn't it be? How would they have planned this ahead this far back? Like, I don't understand this show, but I don't care. Also, the Miho/Cat Juto is back, just like with Tsuyoshi, and he's like super happy and stuff, I guess. I don't really know why. And he tries to tell her how much he loves her and that she brings out the best in him because he's pretty sure Don Killer's going to kill him. he tries defying fate by just fighting Don Killer, who ends up attacking nearby him and Miho, and into getting his ass beat. Both of his legs pretty badly broken and thrown in the hospital, where he sees Tsubasa. And Saruhara, which is final Haku before fighting and also getting his ass beat. Same thing, guess what, happens to Haruka as well. And Jiro, when he gets to the house with, we switch back to him for a bit, when he gets back to Terasaki-san's house, he finds a button there very similar to the Don Killer button, and presses it. This activates Don Killer Killer somehow. Don't know why the button was there, if maybe this, Terasaki-san knows something about the Don clan and whatever, but somehow the button was there. Knowing anyway, we'll never get an explanation. And he presses it again. I just love how Jiro continues to be as stupid or even more stupid than Goku. Goku would always do like really stupid, silly shit, or even more so in the Abridged series. Pretty much Jiro is that times 100. We really don't know how or why Terasaki-san has this button. No one has any idea. I'm sorry, so Haruka does not get attacked. It would be Tsuyoshi, Saruhara, and Tsubasa. So, Momoe and Haruka are next to be attacked alongside Kaito. Master Kaito transforms again and fights with them. Tries to fight Don Killer, doesn't work. Nothing he does even is able to stop him. Don Killer gets summoned there to fight Don Killer, and Saruhara notices because they want to help. They get summoned there, but the Don Blaster's like, oh, but we're injured. And he's like, Tsuyoshi goes something about, well, through just like pure guts, we'll heal ourselves. And they transform. When they transform, transformation actually heals their legs and their broken bones. I don't know. At this point, Tsubasa is conveniently out of the room getting something to drink. So, of course, they don't see him get transformed again. Goodness. Naoto also try to help. Taro tries telling Sonoi, don't do this. This is all, like, he's focused on me. Like, you're just going to get hurt. Don't do this. Basically, I love you, baby. Don't get hurt. They try. They get their asses beat, and they run. Jiro and the rest of the team arrive after being healed by changing. We get a Ryusoul Gold and Ryusoul Red avatar change. That was really cool to see that, being a Ryu Soldier fan. There's also this Ototoki going on. So at the beginning of the episode, there was a whole thing with Tsubasa where Sononi was coming up to him. Sononi had a guy with her that was trying to tell her how you're so hot, babe, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, really? Is that your words of love? And he's like, well, yeah, because you're the only one. And then behind him comes this girl who's like, I thought we were exclusive. And she gets all upset. Sononi smacks him and walks away. And she really clearly has some kind of a thing for Tsubasa. But this other girl is really upset, and she's like, just notice me, and she turns into a Hitotsuki of the week. I think it's Jaka one, Denjikatai Jaka, yeah. And so it's in the background doing shit throughout the episode. But essentially, the Don Killer thing gets resolved this way. They're evenly fucking matched with each other, so they just start like DBZ fighting in the air, all circling around each other and shooting lasers at each other. At one point, before that, Don Killer opens his mouth and shoots a fucking missile out of his mouth. It's just, this show is absolute crack cocaine meth straight to your brain. This show is absolute insanity all the time. And I love it for that. I don't know what it is, but I just really enjoy it. Because they can marry that with some really great character work. And I really think that's really great. I think that's really strong and really awesome. So, anyway, we continue forward. The Don Killer and Don Killer are DBZ fighting in the air. And essentially, Master Kaito says that they're going to fight for eternity because they're evenly matched. You see them in space shooting lasers at each other and just flying off into eternity. Okay. They form the mecha and fight the Hitotsuki, of course. Sarah Brother is actually, before this, he hopes that Don Killer wins because he looks like him, and he's like, I hope that the one that looks like me wins. I hope the Don Killer wins. And he's like, I wonder why he looks, or so she says, I wonder why he looks like you. And he goes, because I'm handsome. And Tsuyoshi says something like, you got that right, or something like, okay, Tsuyoshi. They fight with the mecha. We get down to Toradora Dragonjin Kiwami, and defeat the Chozoki. The girl's saved, whatever. We go back to the house where Jiro was. He's singing this really creepy song and making origami. And as he walks away to greet Terasaki-san, we see a penguin origami. Basically saying it right to our faces, that not base Jiro, because base Jiro we know is feral Jiro. That was always the normal one, and the other one was a delusion. No, the other one was not a delusion. The other one is somehow, in some way, a Juto. So this whole time, he's been the one, which makes sense. Him wanting like his desire to like one up Momotaro and defeat him and everything would coincide with being a Juto, wanting to wipe out the Don Clan because they were a weapon for that. That was warped to do that, you know. So pretty big revelation to throw into this much of a wacky episode. Absolute insanity this episode. The jokes all hit. The choreography of the fight choreography is great. There's a fight between Don Killer and Taro near the end in the Quarry of Destiny, where he like bites his sword. And it's like, okay, this is going to be a lot now. But next week we see Murasame blind Tsubasa somehow, leaving him with Sanoni to watch over him. And he thinks for some reason it's Natsume. I think he's just really tired and like, you know, like exhausted, and then he's blind, so he just thinks that it is. Sanoni definitely loves him, and there's definitely some death flags for each of them in that preview, so I'm really worried that one or both of them is going to go. I mean, I also thought that a few weeks ago, and we thought his identity was getting revealed, and he was going to get killed there too, but nope. And Haruka's trying to get her driver's license, because of course this show. Overall, a really good episode. The Don Killer thing is amazing. I would have loved if they actually transformed with Ranger forms. I would think it would be funny if they continuously had a line of just Don Killer, this is Don Killer, and this is Don Killer, and they just kept going till they have 5-person team. So you have Don Killer, Don Killer, Don Killer, Don Killer, and Don Killer. So you have a 5-person team, like a Sentai or something. I feel like I'm gonna have a stroke thinking about this plot. Saw an interesting post though recently that said, "What is like, we're all seem to be really enjoying DonBrothers. What's someone negative?" I don't really have a negative. It's weird. I really don't. If I had to really try to like make up one, basically, it would be to have more Avataro changes, and that's pretty much it. That's it. That's all I can really say. The rest of it has been pretty gold. I do wish that we would have like a real like physical formed villain to go up against. But I think this season can actually do without having a like main bad guy controlling the string, pulling the strings from behind the scenes kind of thing. So there are quite a few plot lines to clean up, but I have faith that I trust it anyway, that he'll be able to clean those up decently, I think. Same thing, that was similar situation in Jetman. There was a lot going on, and then he was able to cinch it up. So hopefully we can pull the same thing here. But overall, really liked the episode. Awesome character interactions, great dialogue. The jokes all hit, absolutely. The fights were amazing. And the whole Don Killer thing is absolutely ridiculous, but also amazing at the same time. Score, overall, I'm probably going to give it a straight banger, 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. The only thing I was hoping for was more Avataro changes, but we didn't get that, and that's okay. Yes, coming up content this week, you're going to get a lot of reviews. You're going to get DonBrothers 38, 39. You're going to get Geats 12 and 13. And also, hold on. I think that's pretty much it for the content. On Friday with Henshins and Homies with the podcast, we'll be having the wonderful Thomas Jujubee as our guest. If you don't know Thomas Jujubee, he does a lot of Rider content, some Sentai stuff too. He has a couple of different series he does called How to Adapt Sentai and How to Adapt Rider, both like a basic plotline story thing of his own, but then also really delving into the details of like what toys could be sold, how much it would make, how much money it would make, blah, blah, blah. So I really like that series. He does really, really good stuff. He's a huge fan of tokusatsu, knows a lot about a lot of different things, lots of different varied videos. You really want to see a tokutuber really changing up his content, check out Thomas Jujubee. So he'll be on the podcast on Friday, 7:45, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be talking about Kamen Rider X8 is straight fire, because it is. It's an amazing season. I love it, love it, love it. And also that death is absolutely meaningless in Modern Rider. So join us on the podcast for that. Again, that's the Henshins and Homies podcast. You can find us as a podcast anywhere you can get a podcast at, or you can subscribe to us here on YouTube. You can watch us live with video. And we archive the streams in case you can't watch it live. Don't worry about it. If you guys have any ideas for videos for either this channel, for Hooked on Heroes, or for Henshins and Homies, guests you'd like to be on, if you yourself would like to be a guest, throw us a DM. Send a DM to the Henshins and Homies podcast Twitter, at Henshins and Homies podcast. It's pretty much the same thing. Same here. You can direct message me, Sergeant Hooked on Heroes, Rio Soul Rider Red. You can direct message me there on Twitter as well, and throw comments here of guest ideas if you want to be a guest or video ideas. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you guys love about this week's episode of DonBrothers. 39. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What about the Don Killers? Don Killer Killer? Don Killer Killer Killer? Don Killer 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 Killer? Don Killer 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 Killer? And let me know what you guys think. I've been having a really good time reviewing stuff. I know I don't get like a ton of comments here and there, but enough to like keep me going. And I do like to see the feedback here and there. So I do really appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for watching. Stay hooked on Heroes. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.